right, so I don't know which neck screw's in here. This is so crazy. This is really psyching me out. What's going on, everybody? This is the most fun video that I've made so far. First of all, I want to say thanks to everyone for helping me get to 500 subscribers. It feels like a really big milestone. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't already, please do. I promise to continue making interesting, fun content like this. This was really just a fascinating topic. So you may have heard of various kind of heavy bits and bobs to put on a saxophone. I recently got curious about the heavy neck screws. I'm not going to say specifically which one I ended up buying. I'm just going to say that the neck screw that came with my Selmer Mark 6 saxophone, regular neck screw, I believe it's the original factory screw, and it weighs about 3 grams. The one that I purchased, the heavy mass screw that I will not name, weighs about 68 grams. So over 20 times heavier. It feels very well made. It's a beautiful thing. I bought it because of the marketing and because I think it looks cool, and I was just curious about it. And when I first put it on my instrument and tried it out, I was like, wow, I feel a difference. I feel like the marketing language about a more responsive low end and easier altissimo and all that, I felt like it might just be, 5% easier or less, but I thought I felt something. And then I decided to do a blind test. I'm a big fan of James Hoffman, the coffee guy, and his blind test that he does with various types of equipment to sort of prove or disprove marketing, language around things. And I thought it would be fun to do that with this heavy mass screw. So I had my fiance flip a coin 9 times, and depending on the result of the coin flip, switch out from regular neck screw to this heavy neck screw. So I've got here the chart where she wrote down the heads and tails. We did 9 times, and so I wore a blindfold the entire time, and I had her hand me the instrument and wait the same amount of time whether she was switching it out or not. And so the results are really interesting, and I think if you stick around till the end, it's going to be really eye-opening in a psychological way, and just in terms of examining the placebo effect and how what you think a product like this might do to your sound influences the way that you think your instrument is responding. All right, so I don't know which neck screw is in here. I'm not going to try and guess till I've played a few. Okay, I'm not going to touch it. The second neck screw that I used was the same one. We got heads, so I played the big screw again, and check out what I say at the end here. That felt different. Nothing had changed. I don't know which one's which. That felt a little different, and I feel like the bottom end of the horn was responding better. So I think in my mind, I thought I had just gone from the little screw to the big screw, and like there was a little bit of a difference. There was the same screw both times. So totally psychological. Okay, so now this will be the first time, test number 3. I'm playing the little screw for the first time, and let me see how I respond to it. Altissimo feels better this time. This is why blind tests are so interesting. That felt really good. I said altissimo feels better. You'll see. It's crazy. All right, test number 4. Who knows what I'm playing? Where's the screw? Clip. All right, as assuming I've played at least one time on each different one, this feels like the bigger one. Tests 1 and 2 were the same screw, and I thought they were different. Tests 3 and 4 were the same screw, and I thought those were different. One of these feels like the bottom of the horn responds a lot better, and just it does feel a little bit fast, like a faster response, which is, but I don't know, maybe it's the little screw. Yeah, this feels great. So I'm already kind of convinced just from listening to myself in retrospect through the first 4. I'm pretty convinced that it's like a total placebo effect, any difference that I ever felt with the heavy screw. But let's keep going. My dog's so fascinated with me talking to myself, I can feel him at my feet. All right, number 5. I feel like the instrument's responding less. Feel like it's responding less. This is hilarious because all I had done was handed my horn off, nothing changed at all, not even the tightness of the screw, and had it handed back, and I started playing, and I said, it feels less responsive. So, this is, I highly encourage anyone who has any kind of gear where this is possible. A mouthpiece, you're going to feel a difference. A reed, maybe we could do reeds. If there's a small enough variable that you're able to do a test like this, I highly encourage it because it's a lot of fun and it's crazy how much it messes with your head. Let's keep going. Man, this is where I started to have no idea what I was playing. Now it's really tripping. It's psyching me out. I think I can feel a difference between these if it has been a different one. Don't touch the screw, don't touch the screw. All right, I'm not going to guess which one, but I think it's a different screw than last time. It does feel a little different, and it feels a little better to me. I thought it was a different one. Now, this test was super interesting because we flipped the coin, and it was heads, heads, tails, 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 tails. So this is what happens with truly random. It's not back and forth. I did 5 in a row of the same exact thing, nothing having changed. Was fully convinced that it might have changed. And I was, like, when I played it, I'm hearing myself, this is test 6, so I had just played the same neck screw 4 times, and I'm like, one of these is different, one of these is different. This is so crazy. This is really psyching me out. All right, number 7. I think there's a difference that I feel between these things on the playing the overtone. I was totally convinced that I was feeling a different response when I tried to play overtones, just matching the pitch to the regular fingering of that note. And this was the 5th test in a row of the exact same stock neck screw. So yeah, it was all in my head. I feel like one of them is more responsive on the overtone, which feels really good and makes the whole bottom end of the horn respond better. This feels like the bigger one. If I had to guess, it wasn't. And it feels a little warmer and more responsive up at the top. That feels, to me, if I had to guess, the bigger screw if it's doing what it's advertised to do. Oh. This feels really good. I think it feels like the same as last time. I don't think it changed. This is the funniest part. I said, feels like nothing changed. I think this is the same one. It's responding great. It's the big screw. This is the one where the overtones feel very responsive. Again, I think. So yeah. I guess I should try to make a decision. I've played 8 different ones. So, okay, so that was the 8 to try and mix it up. And now I'm going to try and guess which one I'm playing. At this point, I've played each one at least a few times. And I feel like I have some kind of, like I'm feeling a difference between the two. I don't know which one's which. So this time I'm going to try and say which one I think it is for sure. And so let's try it. This is the one I like more. Which one is it? Oh, it's the little screw. Oh, shit. Okay. That was fun. And I guess wrong. It felt great again. And I said, so the moral of the story here is I personally cannot tell a difference between these two screws. That does not mean that they don't make a difference for someone else. I don't want to throw shade at the entire roster of companies and individuals making these things, but for me, this was about as scientific as I know how to do an exploration of whether or not it makes a difference for myself. And this is video evidence that for myself, there is no discernible difference. I thought the same screw 5 times in a row was 2 different ones. I thought that the little screw was the big screw. I thought that the big screw was the one that felt better. I thought the little screw was the one that felt better. They're apparently, based on this round of testing with this setup, with this instrument and reed and mouthpiece, for myself, it doesn't matter which one I play with. I'm probably going to keep using the big one because it's easy to turn and I like it. So I'm not going to call it snake oil, but I will say if you've got, $80, $50, 150, whatever they're charging for these, in different companies are charging for these, probably better spent on a lesson. Maybe a lesson with me. If you're interested in taking a private lesson, I am teaching private lessons via Zoom, Skype, whatever you want to use. I also am able to do things like this because I spend my own money on the products. This is not a paid advertisement for anyone. Still not going to tell you who made this beautiful heavy neck screw. That doesn't make a big difference for me. If you'd like to see more experiments like this, please consider supporting me on Patreon. And once again, I'd like to say thank you for the 500 subscribers. And please, if you would like this type of thing, leave a comment. Let me know what else you'd like to see me test like this. Like the video. And if you'd like to, subscribe. Thank you.